Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Lone Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Yo, what is popping today?
That polar bear up on your hoodie.
Oh, yeah,
I guess it's called a polo bear.
Polo, yeah, polo.
Polo. Oh,
Get
look at that
right.
play on words. Now, is that like real polo, or is that like you went to Sam's Club and you got
Stop. Kirkland's, please. I don't shop at Sam's.
But aren't there like two separate polos out there? There's like one that's
There's
like
a U.S. Polo Association that has like a fake guy playing polo. Yeah, we don't wear those.
Okay.
We being just myself. I can't speak for the other listeners or viewers out there across the world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're looking at one who just yesterday I was rocking my Valentine's Day.
Made up holiday, not even a holiday, but whatever. I digress.
My Valentine's Day gear, which was basically a gray suit with a
Pink tie?
pink shirt.
Oh.
And it had the little guy playing polo on it. What's that one? The cheap one? The knockoff?
No.
Probably.
No.
Probably.
No. That's a real. You wouldn't wear no fake polo. That's a real polo. You had a real polo on.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
And you're wearing a real polo.
Yeah, Authentico.
Okay, very cool. Hey, shout out to Tenor Sellers. I told you I was going to do it.
You did.
I told you I was going to do it. Yes, yes, Tenor Sellers. That was the wine company that John and I were talking about a couple episodes back. And I said, hey, I need to bring some bottles into the office and maybe we can display one.
Yes, not crack it open though.
We are not going to crack it open, although it is a nice Merlot if you're into Merlots. And their wine is really good. It is like really good. It makes a great gift. But we're part of their subscription, and we're investors in the company. So as an investor and as a person who gets the monthly bottles in the mail, and right now my wife's not drinking, and she's more of a wine drinker than I am, then it's like the bottles are just
stacking up.
Stacking up. Yeah, so, but shout out to the crew over at Tenor Sellers. Like, they are wine with a cause, wine with a mission. You know, they stand for women's empowerment. They give 10% of their profits back to charitable organizations that promote women in business, that promote women's health. So it's just who doesn't like wine? Who doesn't like a nice wine buzz? And who doesn't like great causes?
And I heard you said it tastes pretty damn good. So.
And it tastes pretty damn good too. Yeah, so check them out. Today's episode, you ready to jump right into it?
You ain't playing no games. Hey, shout out April for giving us the comment on YouTube. I saw it. Thank you. We laughed.
Oh, we did laugh, April. Shout out to April. So thank you for that. I commented. You laughed. I commented. Yeah. By the way, if you're tuned in right now on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we do thank you.
Yep, thanks.
We still want that 5-star review. But we're on YouTube.
Yeah, you can.
Like, you can watch us on YouTube. If you're trying to figure out what the hell are they talking about, Tenor Sellers, what bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, go on YouTube.
Look at that synergy.
And subscribe, because I love seeing those subscriptions go up.
Yep.
Yes, trying to get to 20K, John.
Yeah.
We got to get to 20K. And we can get there. People just get their happy asses over there and subscribe really quickly.
So you got no damn.
Even if they want to listen on Spotify or Apple, that's fine.
Still do the same. Double up.
Yep. But what we love about YouTube, too, is the ability to have, like,
the real-time comments.
The real-time comments, and to be able to give a thumbs up or give a comment back. It's fun.
This banter's for you, April.
This banter is for you. This Tenor Sellers is for you, John.
I won't crack. Are you serious?
Yeah, you can take it home. Yeah, if you'll drink, I have more. I know where this comes from. Hey, I know one of the owners of Tenor Sellers.
As long as it's not the Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I won't give that one. You can't open that.
I know. I just wanted to make sure it's the.
And what sucks is that wine, it's a white wine, was delicious. Because we got a couple of them. We drank one and we kept one.
Hey, only time.
My sister-in-law and her husband, Matt, shout out to Matt.
Shout out, Matt. There you go. Another shout out.
That's back to back.
Two for two.
I shouted at Matt last episode, too.
He's probably not going to.
He told me, he goes, I'm one of your biggest fans. How come you never give me a shout out?
Next time you see me, he's like, I haven't heard you shout out. You haven't even been listening, Matt.
Yeah. But they bought a whole case.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Of the RBG. Yeah, so you take that home. Enjoy that with your wife.
Okay.
I'm going to share today some enjoyment with the audience.
Let's go.
And I don't know what I was doing. No, I do know what I was doing. I was worked out this morning with the Center Florida Tri Club.
4 a.m.?
Got up at 4:44. Had to make it to Lake Eola by 5:30. And I did about an hour and a half, what you would call a track workout, a running workout. And so shout out to Hector and the whole entire crew. Laura,
Where'd
Juan,
you did you
Carlos.
did you get in the lake to bathe?
Rose.
Where'd you go afterwards? You went home to take a shower?
No. I drive to the LA Fitness right down the street from
I'm
the
just making
office.
sure. Okay.
I roll into the
I'm
LA
like,
Fitness. I'm like the only guy who rolls in the gym already
sweaty,
sweaty.
and then you're like, no, I just need to use the facilities, and I'm here to work out.
I just need to shave my face, shave my head, take a shower,
and
put on my work clothes, and get to the office.
Good
because John and I work literally less than a mile from an LA Fitness. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I did yesterday?
Burpees?
Thinking about you.
What's that?
I got in the sauna.
Oh, okay.
I got you. You talk about the sauna and how you love the sauna.
Did you like it? Was it a pleasurable experience?
I spent 20 minutes in there.
Wow.
I don't know what I got out of it.
Did you sweat a lot?
No, but I came from a workout.
That's not. No. That fault. It doesn't matter. I come from sweaty workouts, and I sweat expeditiously more in the sauna.
I sweat a little bit.
No, I'm talking about drenched.
No, maybe it wasn't hot enough. I don't know.
Which LA Fitness?
The one right by the office.
Oh yeah, you can't. The infrared saunas do not work. You need to have the lava rocks. Facts. That's why it doesn't get hot enough.
Wow, you're just spitting knowledge today.
I'm looking not as good as your 5 facts you're about to drop on us. So.
I am. So these are going to be 5 facts. One of the benefits you have when you're in your mid-40s, you've been around the block once or twice, and you've earned or sometimes pushed, in my case, your way into a few executive boardrooms.
Right.
And you've buddied up with some prominent CEOs and presidents of organizations. Sometimes I had to do that through coaching. Sometimes I did that through donating money to be a part of a certain event, and was at a table. You ask questions. You get to know people. You pick their brains. And what I want to share is just 5 things. I was thinking about this when I was during my cool down lap of my run.
Okay.
Knowing that you and I were recording today, knowing that I'm dressed in my best Tommy Bahama. Y'all have never seen me this dressed
honestly,
down.
you should wear that all the time. It's
no,
it's
not
such
all the
a
time.
more pleasurable experience seeing you casual.
I'm dressed down because I'm driving my happy ass 7 hours from Orlando, Florida to Destin, Florida. Destin is one of the most gorgeous beaches you can ever visit because I'm speaking at a Trustmark event. So shout out to our friends over at Trustmark Bank.
Shout out Trustmark.
I'm speaking at Trustmark tomorrow, but I have to drive in the car for 7 hours, and I'm driving to the beach. So when I was getting my clothes out last night, I was like, do I really want to get out the slacks and the button down and the belt and the loafers and all the work attire uniform that I would wear? Or as my daughter would call it, my costume, my work costume.
Yeah.
Because she says, Dad, you have costumes for everything. I said, they're called uniforms, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, man, I'm going to dress like I'm going to Destin. I'm going to dress like I'm getting ready to spend 7 hours in the car. And I'm going to dress like at 7 p.m. I am going to be at a beachside bar restaurant ordering seafood, drinking a beer, and looking at the gorgeous white sand and the gorgeous emerald blue Gulf of Mexico. That's what I'm going to be doing at 7 p.m. today.
All right.
But in the interim, before I do it, I have to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. So back on the podcast, back at me this morning, having this idea that what are 5 or 10 of the best tips or advice given to me by other business leaders, typically CEOs? And I started thinking about, could I come up with 5? And I came up with like 7 or 8. And then I took those 7 or 8 and I whittled them down to the 5 that I think if I was given the opportunity to present or teach at, I don't know, something like TLOP Live or an event similar, could I teach and coach this?
Okay.
So we're going to start by doing a podcast episode on it. So you're going to title this 5 Lessons Learned from CEOs.
5 lessons learned from CEOs.
5 lessons learned from CEOs.
Yep.
Lesson number 1. It's not what we do, it's how we do it. So I was sitting in a meeting, this was years ago, we were in Chicago, and we were talking about finding your North Star.
Love that word, that buzzword.
The North Star, yeah. And, you know, and by the way, we did some really cool exercises. The company flew in a professor from Pepperdine University, and we did, it was a 2-day event. But one of the lessons that I picked up is, let's not focus on what we do. Let's focus on how we do it. Because how we do it is how we're going to differentiate ourselves. How we do it is going to be how we gain market share. How we do it is how we're compared to our competitors. And I was like, yeah. So the rest of my life since that event, I stop and I think, it's not what I'm doing right now, it's how I'm doing it. Whether it's running, whether it's biking, whether it's parenting, whether it's cooking, whether it's speaking to a client or a referral source or a potential recruit, right? Because what I do is pretty boring. What do? I do mortgages. Okay, that's boring. 30-year fixed mortgage, you need my pay stub, you need my W-2, you need my bank statement. Maybe not. That gets into the how, right? The what I do is pretty boring, but how I do it for our mortgage loan originators, well, ma'am or sir, you might not know this. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all mortgage. I am a mortgage advisor. I believe that all mortgages are nothing more than financial instruments that allow someone to purchase real estate. So what I do for my clients is I ask you about your financial needs, wants, and goals. And I help tailor make a mortgage or a financial instrument to help you purchase real estate that is specifically geared towards helping you qualify, but also making sure you're able to meet and match or exceed your financial needs, wants, and goals. That's how I do it. Someone may lean into the how with, well, how I do mortgages is I take all of the stress off of your plate. Throughout my years of experience, I have found that it's very stressful for people to find their pay stubs or W-2s and their tax returns or their bank statements. And I utilize technology so that all I need you to do is log in one time to the super secure, secretive portal, give me a couple usernames and passwords, and from there, we can utilize technology, right? It's how you do it, not necessarily what you do. And then you can start thinking about that in all other facets of life. How do you parent? Like, I am a parent is what I do. I'm a parent, but how do you do it? Right? Do you rule with an iron fist? Do you let your children just run amok? Right? Like, what is your style? Are you their friend? Or are you the authoritative figure? Right? Because how you parent is going to deem and going to best produce what you get out of a child, right? It's how you do it. It's not what. So that was number one, right? Just focus on it is not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. Make sense?
I like that one.
Yeah. And look to apply it. Like, I know people get tired of me talking about training for triathlons, but like that takes up a lot of hours of my week. So it's very present in my mind. And I could talk about, well, what I did yesterday was I cycled. That's what I did. How I did it was totally incorrect. Coach Hector yelled at me.
You got to pull up with the back like Dustin is pushing.
My knees were flared out. So I had to learn how to do the bike stroke more efficiently.
You got a bike coach now?
Well, Coach Hector, Hector Torres is the leader of the Central Florida Tri Club. Yes, so like that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
We just did something
on coach. That's
Yes. So
bow-legged Dustin out there riding the tricycle.
It's not even bow-legged. It's just my knees flare out, and that's because I'm probably not flexible enough.
Because you're also tall, though.
I'm also but you buy a tall bike and you get the bike fitted for your frame.
Yeah, I thought you did all that.
I did all that, but my left knee still wants to flare out. Right, so like,
right.
But you can apply it to everything,
right?
From the CEO level all the way down to the street salesperson level. Like when I'm selling to a client, please do not sell them what you do. You sell them how you do it. If I had a product, don't talk about what the product does. Talk about how the product fills a need, fills a void, solves a problem, cures a pain. Right? It is not what, it is how. All right. Number 2. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to this one.
Okay.
This dude's name is Andy Peach.
And shout out Andy Peach.
Yeah, you know
I remember
Peach.
Andy. Yeah.
Was Andy the CEO when you onboarded?
Yeah.
Yeah, great dude.
Yeah,
right?
awesome
He was
guy.
here for a hot minute.
Yeah.
For a hot minute, but Andy's he's a senior level executive in the mortgage industry and really just a great guy.
Yeah, awesome dude.
And Andy, we're talking about technology. He's like, Dio, I've learned with technology, I need to be a fast follower. I need to be a fast follower. You and I had that same exact conversation this morning about ChatGPT.
Yeah, you're all over that.
I am all over it, right? But I'm not as far ahead as so many other people.
Right.
Right? I'm not in the development stage. I wasn't hanging out with Bill Gates and the rest of the crew over at Microsoft.
I'm not even in the arena right now at this point.
I learned today that if you go to Bing instead of Google, what? How dare you?
I'm shutting it down.
Watch this. Bing.
Get away from me.
I can do a Bing search, and it's already incorporating some of the AI.
No way.
Yes,
Is
from
Bing about to
ChatGPT.
take over Google? Oh my God.
Maybe.
No,
Wouldn't that
what?
be
No.
crazy? Sell your Google stock now,
Sell
John.
it all. Flash sale. Are you? Oh my God. Yeah, Bing's the way to go.
But when it comes to many things in life, you want to be a fast follower. Right? Sometimes that innovator and that leader, that's the person who takes the biggest L, the biggest loss. Right? Because think about how many ideas, how many innovations don't work, don't pan out. I mean, I look at myself as an angel investor, right? I have had success in my life investing in tech startup companies as an angel. I'm a part of a group, and as a group, we invest 3 to 4 times per year in 3 to 4 different startup companies. And the rule of thumb in that world is a 2 in 10. 2 in 10 you hit. That means 8 in 10 you lose. Not many people can stomach losing 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where you maybe you don't be an angel investor. That's where you maybe want to come in on the A series or the B series. Right? You're still in there. You're a fast follower, but you're not an angel. Okay? But then you think about on a very small level, your company, your branch is looking to roll out a certain technology. Do you want to be the innovator of that technology? Do you want to be the first to do it? Or could you afford to be a fast follower? Because a fast follower, you eliminate 80% of the risk and you pick up 80% of the upside versus 100% of the risk and 100% of the upside. So Andy Peach taught, and I thoroughly just bought in hook, line, and sinker in life and in business, especially as it pertains to technology. I want to be a fast follower. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Jeff McGinnis because this one came from Jeff.
Damn, you're just shouting out all the CEOs. Yes. I guess it makes sense because this is about the stuff you learn from CEOs, so duh. So Jeff McGinnis, awesome dude, right? Awesome, just like Andy Peach is awesome. And McGinnis, we were on a conversation. This happened just like a month ago. And it came up more about, I can be a little fiery, John. I'm competitive. I'm a scrapper. You know, I grew up in a very blue-collar neighborhood, working class, lower middle class. And back then, we settled things the old-fashioned way. Our fists.
We did. Yes, we did. Jeff just had a piece of advice for me because there's a competitor that's just like a thorn in your side. And you know that competitor is the land of misfit toys. You know that. Everyone in the industry knows that. Right? But it doesn't take away from the fact that they're a thorn in your side. And you know that if you really wanted to, you could just buy them. Like if you wanted to be spiteful, you could straight up buy them and then unwind them and do nothing with it. Right? Just, hey, we can do this. We're going to bully you. Or you know that you can do and say a few things and make their world just a little bit more aggravating than it already is. And Jeff said this. He goes, Dio, please understand. When you wrestle with pigs, you're going to get muddy.
Yes.
He said, think about that. When you wrestle with pigs, you want to get muddy. Now, that reminded me of my mom and dad telling me you got to take the high road. Hey, Dustin. Hey, son. Sometimes you just got to learn to take the high road. Never understood that. I don't understand high roads or low roads.
Yeah, I'll just smack you in the face instead.
Yeah. But I do know what it's like to wrestle. I do know what it's like to get muddy. And I have actually...
Wrestled a pig?
Tried.
Jesus, how did I know you were going to say that? You did that look in your eye. You had that twinkle. And he's like, you know what I've done before? It's like, what, do you wrestle the pig? It's like, yes, I have.
Yeah, there's more piglets. We chased piglets around as a competition because those things are hard to catch.
Oink, oink.
They're quick.
Oink, oink.
Yes. So, it's just good advice. Life advice, but it came from a CEO. It's made it even better. Yeah, so if you're going to wrestle with pigs, you're going to get muddy. Keep that in mind because most pigs aren't worth wrestling. They're not. You can lure them in with slop and then throw a net over them and you ain't got to wrestle them.
Right.
Right? So this one, I love, love, love. You've heard me say it multiple episodes. In fact, I want to say it to people daily. Daily. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, think about that. Let that sit in. I'm going to start with your health. JC, nothing changes if nothing changes. Right? If you don't like how skinny you are, if you don't like how thick you are, if you don't like the fact that you get winded walking up and down stairs, I'm just going to tell you, like, nothing changes if nothing changes. Meaning you got to change something. If you want to see a different result. And I said a different result. I didn't say better result. Right? Because you at least got to start making a change. Then you figure out where there's efficiencies. Then you figure out where you can become more effective. Or you can figure out what works and what doesn't work. Like, total sidebar here, a little bit of a rabbit hole. I had the same theory when it comes to decisions. And I don't think this is stoicism, although someone shouted me out.
I didn't know what that word was, and I didn't look it up, so that's how you pronounce it.
That I went down a rabbit hole on stoicism just a couple episodes ago. But this particular rabbit hole as it pertains to decision making. I don't understand, A, why everyone thinks that every decision needs to be a quote-unquote good decision or the right decision. Right? Or I don't understand why we hold others accountable to standards that we ourselves can't even meet as it pertains to decision making. Decisions are something that need to be made, and you need to have the good decisions outweigh the bad decisions, and you need to have the right decisions outweigh the wrong decisions. But to think that every decision you make is going to be good or right, I think is asinine. No different than I think it's asinine for someone to think that they can change who they are, what they do, what's happening to them without making any changes.
I'm making changes. I'm thinking about it, though. I'm thinking about making the changes, and therefore the changes should happen because I'm thinking about the thought of change.
Yeah. I was talking to a client 3 days ago. It's in the gym, which I feel bad for people who are in the gym with me because most times I'm in there about 5:30 or 6:30. I wish my workday was done. Truth be told, y'all, it ain't. My workday is not done. I am that guy. I talk loud to begin with.
No, Dustin, you're that guy on calls on the machine?
My only hope, John, is I see you with those big-ass Bose headphones on or those Beats headphones. Yes. I'm like, there's no way he can hear me anyhow. But yes, and I try not to do it, right? Because you're jamming out to whatever creepy jazz music you're listening to. JC listened to like jazz music with a techno beat behind it. But
it's called soft lounge.
Soft lounge, there you go.
House.
Yeah. DJ Skrillex got together with Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, and made a beat.
And JC's jamming
like eating it up, yeah.
So I was talking to this client, and I literally just wanted to scream because he's been a client 4 times over. Purchases, refinances, etc. And it's the same conversation every 2 to 3 years. Every 2 to 3 years. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I'm like, man, I had this conversation with you in 2016. Had it in 2019, I had it in 2021, now we're in 23. And at the end of the day, my advice hasn't changed because you haven't changed. The same thing I was telling you back in 2016, you still haven't done.
Did you say that to him? In a nice way?
I'm not that guy.
In a nice way, kind of.
I tiptoe. I sometimes tiptoe all the way to the edge. I don't jump head first. I'm not that guy. You're not paying me enough money.
Right.
Right, like if you're a coaching student.
Oh, best believe.
Hey, ask them. Ask them. No, I don't mind getting, not in your face, but I don't mind saying things that are pointed or curt.
Right.
If it's going to get a point across. So, because I'm a firm believer, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm a firm believer that sometimes, like, you can't get a point across without creating a scar. I sometimes want to create a scar because you look at a scar and you remember that's where I got that from. Okay, I have a scar on my right forearm because I told Rich Ferg in 1999, you won't, when he held a knife blade to my arm.
And before you got out the T, it was already slashed.
And it was slashed. Yes. And thank God Jason Green was at the same party, and Jason Green was an EMT.
You won't.
And he basically like dressed the wound that night. So I didn't have to go to the hospital. I learned a valuable lesson. Yep. Don't tell Rich Ferg you won't.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
Okay.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Lesson learned. But for some people, they just don't figure it out.
Why do you think he didn't change? Because you said the same thing. Obviously, you know this client. You've done work with him. You pulled him. So it's not like he's a stranger to you. What would you assess?
Because change is painful.
Because change is uncomfortable, because change requires you to do things that look, if you wanted to do it, you would have done it before, right? So change for this person requires working 10 more hours a week. That's what it requires. If that person worked 10 more hours a week, they would make the money that they would need to make to pay the bills they needed to pay, and they wouldn't have the issues that they're currently having.
When you say that, it seems so like that's it?
Yep.
A barrier to entry.
It's a low credit score due to maxed out credit cards. A low credit score prevents that person from being able to borrow at the best terms. So this person's trying to, let's say, buy a new vehicle, but the payment is so high because the credit score is so low. The credit score is so low because the credit cards are so high. Why are the credit cards so high? Well, because you're spending more money than you make. Why are you spending more money than you want to make? Why? Because I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. Why are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Because you don't have the willpower to say no. You don't have the willpower to say, oh, we can't do that. We can't go away for the weekend. We can't do this cheer competition. Oh no, I can't be truthful with my children and let them know that mom and dad don't bring home enough money to keep up with the Joneses, or mom and dad aren't willing to go into debt as much as the Joneses are willing to go into debt. Mm-hmm. But this person has the ability to work 10 more hours a week and chooses not to. But if they did, they could make the money so they didn't live on credit cards. They could make the money so they could pay down their credit cards. I once gave advice to a client to sell their house.
Really?
Yes, sell your house.
Just off it. Just get it off.
Start over. Hit the reset button. They had so much equity in their home, but when you borrow on a cash out refinance, you can only get like 80% of the home's worth, of the home's value. And they couldn't qualify for a home equity line of credit because their credit score is too low. So I literally said, sell your house. If you sell your, I walked them through the math, sell your house, pay this much in commission, pay this much in real estate fees, gain all of this equity, pay everything off, then have 6 months reserve, rent for a year while you save up the 3 or 5% needed for down payment, and then buy. What they were giving up by owning, yes, you would have given up 1 year's equity, which on a $400,000 house may very well have been anywhere between $10,000 and $18,000, depending on the year and the market. But they paid more than that in interest on their credit cards, more than that in interest on their car payments. I showed them how they could literally buy the new vehicle that is needed, not wanted. This was a need for this family. Pay off the credit cards, have 6 months reserve, start an IRA. But it would have taken something drastic, such as selling their house and renting somewhere. They didn't do it. They didn't do it, so I'll hear from them every 2 or 3 years.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yes, every 3 years, because nothing changes, John, if nothing changes.
Okay.
So here's the last one.
Okay.
The last one, I don't know if it's a D-O-ism, not stoicism. This may be a D-O-ism.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like most of my content, I'm a creative guy, but I'm not that creative.
Swipe and adapt.
I'm a smart guy, but I'm not that smart.
I mean, I copied a lot of homework. I did.
I'm sure you did.
No, I was the one who, like, people, the dumber kids would copy off of, and then thought because they thought I was smart, and then they would get like a 75 or a D, and I'm like, don't look at me. I thought I did my part.
Sometimes in business, as well as in life, you got to break shit and put it back together. You just do. You just do. Right? Like, and maybe this correlates a little bit with the nothing changes if nothing changes. But like, don't be afraid to break shit and put it back together. Whether that's your CRM, whether that's a certain department within your organization, whether that's your current marketing strategy, like you just have to be willing to break it so that you can put it back together, because you will learn things when you break it, and you'll learn even more when you put it back together. And if you're able to do that periodically, let's say every 3 years for a decade, imagine in 10 years what your organization looks like versus never doing it at all, versus just staying status quo.
Mm-hmm. Now, right? When you say break it, do you mean like just cause ruckus for no reason? Can you like elaborate when you say break?
No, I'm thinking more like push the envelope, or go ahead and I don't want you to create chaos.
Okay.
Right? Like don't go creating chaos where you get yourself fired and other people fired.
Right.
No, what I'm saying is be willing
to just demolish it, like take it down, strip it down to its core, and then build it back. Because if you don't, like you can't find any type of like evolution without doing so. Like I look at our business here. We started with one CRM. It was ACT. And when ACT wasn't what we wanted anymore, we got rid of it. And we got a brand new CRM.
Damn.
And that one was Surefire. And it was better than ACT, but then it wasn't doing all the functionalities we wanted it. So then we went to Jungo. Shout out Jungo.
Shout out Jungo.
So we went to Jungo. Each one of those was a large project. Like it was expensive. We had to strip it down. We had to rebuild. We had to retrain people. Like it was like it wasn't just a flip of a switch. No, we had to reprogram people's thought patterns, how they started their day, where they went for their info. We were willing to break it in order to put it back together better. And you can say that in just about, a very small thing. Think about how you currently run your business. Like whatever your current day looks like. What if you just stripped everything away and started over?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, nope.
Blank sheet.
Yeah, blank sheet. Now when you rebuild it, you're going to rebuild based on what worked. So you're going to pull some of those foundational aspects and put it back together. But like sometimes you want to break shit and put it back together. In fact, I've been rumored or storied. I was interviewing who's now like our VP of recruiting.
There you go.
Right. So I was interviewing her, and I was probably her third interview. So she was brought in by the CEO, but the way our organization is set up, like our CEO gets buy-in from certain people and within the leadership team. And I was one of those people. And so I had this lady, shout out to Catherine, by the way. Catherine Molden's an amazing person. She's up in Maryland. And she's been with our company now at least over a year, maybe 2 at this point. So it was 2 years I was having this conversation. Right. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. And I just must have been in one of those moods, in a good mood. And I just say, hey, Catherine, I need you to know this about me. If you and I are going to be corresponding, cooperating, collectively working together, I need you to know that I'm constantly looking to fuck shit up and put it back together. I didn't even say break. I literally dropped the F-bomb in an interview, and then I hung up the phone like I do most times. So I was like, all right, let's triage this situation and what could we have done better? Yeah. But it's really cool. In hindsight, I read the room well because I didn't drop that until I was probably a half an hour into the interview. But Catherine said, I knew this is where I wanted to be if you were someone that I got to collaborate with. Because I kept it real. I shot it to her straight. I let her know where I stood. So she's like, she appreciated that. And I was like, thank God. Because I thought I was going to have to get one of those phone calls from like Doug Gordon over at the bank.
Sounds like you've gotten one of those before.
D.O., did you do it again? I'm like, it depends on what it is this time, Doug.
Do you know how many times I got called to the principal's office at EA?
No way. How many times? Did you really?
Hundreds, so many violations.
For what typically?
Egregious behavior at company events, but like in a good way, like circle of it to like, well, what's going on over there? Why is everybody circled around that one guy? And you get over there and it's like, oh, it's Coleman doing his thing.
Well, it's doing your thing. Like, did you like bust out a Bill Clinton on the Arsenio Hall show and you're playing the saxophone?
Just walking around with bottles of wine at
drinking from the bottle.
Yeah, drinking from the bottles at like fancy events. And like, what are you doing? And I'm like, being myself.
Yeah. Dio said, do you, homie?
Dio said, do you, homie? But yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay. Well, I would ask you, I'm going to have like a little look I give you, like a wink or like going into it. Or you'd be like, hey, just don't bring me to that event.
No, just don't. No, I can assimilate. I can learn how to swipe. I can learn how to adapt to my situation.
You're no longer in your mid to late 20s.
Thank you for aging me.
You're now pushing 40. You're maturing a little bit.
A little bit.
You're maturing a little bit.
This shit is, I just want to be a kid forever, man. This responsibility shit is for the birds.
Yeah.
But you know what I thought about today? I did learn a lot from you in this experience, so I'm grateful.
And we're grateful for you. And honestly, the listeners are grateful for you. Like those that tune in, like we're 300 plus episodes at this point.
This is like 310.
To our hardcore TLOPers, we thank you.
That's a lot. 310 episodes?
Yes.
Don't let that go over your head.
Yeah, but JC literally gets the proper kudos and accolades because you ask the questions that most people are thinking. Like literally, you're like, yeah, I want to know this. I'm eager to learn. So I appreciate you and I appreciate us being able to do this.
y'all check it out because we're going to have to conclude because John and I have to go have a meeting about TLOP Live Orlando.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
We do. I think we're up to 42 RSVPs already.
Seats are going fast, ladies and gentlemen.
It only holds 70, and the event's like 2 or 3 weeks away still. But I had a great conversation with our friend Ben up in Boston.
Shout out, Ben.
And it was really cool because I was able to put some numbers together. If anybody wanted to do a TLOP event live, a TLOP live event in their market, it cost about $5 or $6 grand to put the event together. Now, who pays for that doesn't matter to me, John, the TLOP faculty, or anyone else that comes in. But there needs to be sponsors, typically mortgage companies, title companies, mortgage insurance companies, homeowners insurance companies. Like those are the types of companies that would sponsor us. Maybe like a company like Sales Boomerang or Mortgage Coach or Jungo, like, people who support the mortgage industry. But it only costs like $5 or $6 grand because we're not charging you for our time. But we do need flights. We do need hotels.
Yeah, I ain't driving up
right?
there.
And then you're going to need to find a venue. You're going to need to find some kind of a caterer or food provider.
Someone got to eat.
Because in order to do a proper half-day event, typically you start in the morning. So you have coffee and you have juice and you have danishes and donuts and fruit out. And then you just got to get us to your city. You got to put us up in a hotel room, and then we'll come in and we'll bring the noise. We'll bring the content. We'll bring the speakers. We'll bring ourselves. And if you get really lucky, we may be able to fly in the night before, maybe do a dinner, maybe hang out because we got to eat.
Yep.
Right?
Fancy shit only.
Yep. We got to eat. Or maybe we can hang out afterwards, depending on flights, travel schedules, and hotel arrangements. Maybe the event's from 8:30 to 12:30, but we can go do something private, or we can just go hang out in the afternoon because maybe we don't fly out till the next morning. So we're getting lots of inquiries. We just started this, right? TLOP Tampa was last month.
That's crazy.
Orlando is this month.
Yep.
Well, technically, Tampa was on January 31st. Orlando is on March 2nd.
Yeah, we'll give February's a short year.
Yep.
I mean, short month.
It's a short year too, John.
Yeah.
We'll hit up West Palm, but like if people are interested, like I ran the math. That's what it costs. That's what it costs. And you don't pay it to us directly. You just got to be able to arrange for those things.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we appreciate you. Check out the website. All upcoming events are on the website, tloponline.com or theloanofficerpodcast.com.
2.0 is dropping soon, so be on the lookout for that.
2.0 is dropping soon. I tried to ask JC about it yesterday. He basically told me to shut the F up, and he's working on it. So I'm going to trust him that 2.0 is being worked on, but then V3, V4, V5 are going to be right behind it. But check out the website, not just for the content, but also to see where we're going to be next.
Because in order to make it better, Dustin, what did we learn today? We have to break it down to build it back better.
We do. Yeah, we got to break some shit and put it back together.
I be listening.
All right. Hey, he's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we will catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.